So they have disasters down at the Murray-Darling rivers with dead fish and drought conditions. So we have a bit of a disaster going on locally here at Helensburgh and Otford. We have the Hacking River, lifeblood of the Australian Heritage Listed Area, Royal National Park, and the Garawarra State Conservation Area. And believe me, things aren't looking too good there either. So without further ado, let's whip on down, have a look at the Otford weirs. And the Hacking River, of course. So we're now heading down Lawrence Hargrave Drive, heading towards Bald Hill and the intersection of Lawrence Hargrave Drive and Lady Wakehurst Drive. And here we are. And across we go, and we go around the makeover of Bald Hill and down Otford Road for our leisurely drive. So let's hit the brakes because we're coming up to this absolutely ridiculous rail crossing, or bridge over the Illawarra rail of a single lane. What's wrong with two lanes, you would ask? But there seems to be something wrong and stupid in the middle of nowhere. So now let's head down to the Otford crossing, the Otford Road that goes up to Helensburgh, and we're coming down here and we shall park at the side and look at this crossing, which has been a scene of some extremely terrible accidents with trucks coming down the other way. However, we are here to look at this crossing and to see what the state of the Hacking River is like. So without further ado, right, well now we're on the west side of the Otford crossing, and this is supposed to be the Hacking River. Some river. The tributaries in Helensburgh, up high on the escarpment, unfortunately has had industrial sites where silt and whatever has run down for a few decades. Also, a lack of rain does not help, but we have crofton weed there. It's just choking the river. But we see this rather pathetic crossing, which was supposed to have been replaced by a bridge that would have helped flow through from underneath. But as you can see, they've just about thrown everything in to stop a lot of stuff and will not create a flow. Despite the rocks in the rock bed, or the riverbed, it all blocks up. And these sort of ancient thinkings do not help. The crossing like this is supposed to be replaced by a culvert, which is only going to be apparently about 1 metre higher. But really, it should be a bridge that goes right over and have all this junk removed. I mean, this is ancient, decrepit thinking. This is not the 19th century or even the 20th century anymore. We need to look after our rivers, and we can see by the flood meter, 2 metres, which shows you a bridge should be higher than that flood indicator. Oh, that seems to indicate that the authorities really don't have much interest or haven't got a clue. Usually it's not a clue on how they should look after their river crossings. But anyway, okay, now let's head down Station Street, and this is heading towards the Otford Station, which is up there. But here we're going to the proper Otford weir, and we will see what it's like. Apparently the original weir here was this road that went across. Then back in the 1940s, this added addition of this wall went across as well. And as you can see, well, it's very drought affected. And this over here is the mighty Hacking River. somewhere in there. Crofton weed, rubbish, silt. There it is, a trickle. I mean, it's a river. There are problems out west with the Murray-Darling rivers and dead fish, but here the fish don't even get a look in. And this is definitely out now that needs a bridge across, needs all this freed up. Look at the gunk, it almost looks like you could walk on that surface. That's how solid it seems. No advantage, no environmental advantage whatsoever. The mighty hacking. And within the last month or so of this footage, there's been a lot of rain, but you would never think so. What could survive in that? Certainly not the Hacking River itself. What we're looking at here, look at that cliffside, gouged out originally by the river. I'd say it was such a river, but now it's just an anemic record of how the mighty hacking was once. Slowed down by mankind with these extremely out of date weirs. I mean, on the other hand, you can say, well, gee, what a beautiful spot, but it's just not right. It's nature not looked after. Once, I understand, platypus lived in this river. Haven't been seen for a couple of decades or more, currently. So we're up a little bit further from where I parked my car, and having a look, you could almost say, well, gee, that looks clear, but it's not right. Look at that muck that's in there. No life. And it's spreading this weed. What happens to that? Does it wash away? No, it just blocks up more and more, causing the flood. Brown weed, green weed, dead branches in there. I mean, where actually is the Hacking River? Looks like it should be more over in that direction there to the right of the picture. But look at that. That is just weed choking. Nothing could survive in there. No fish. Absolutely needs a lot of work and cleaning up. Why can't that be done? So let's jump back in the car, and this time we're going to head up to Kelly's Falls, which is really the Hacking River Falls, and why it's changed to Kelly's nobody seems to know. And here's this lovely one-lane bridge again. Okay, so now, bingo, here we are at the raging Kelly's Falls. If you want to know exactly how much the flow was, go into your bathroom and turn the tap on full bore. That's it. I mean, the mighty Hacking River falls, and it looks like it's fallen everywhere. Spectacular as it can be, and it's not. It's just a pathetic excuse. The actual drop's about 150 feet. 50 metres. But nothing today, thank you. That wouldn't keep a river flowing. It would evaporate even before we got to Otford. And it's the valley down there. But no, sadly, what we're looking at here is actually another waterfall up there called Gills Falls. But once again, turn the tap on. You get a better water flow. This is a very pretty, lovely little waterfall, but this is it, folks. There we are. Look, you can see by comparison, when I stick my hoof there, you can see how tiny the water flow is. I mean, that's it. This is to keep the mighty Hacking, clean. But, yes, drought conditions, lack of rain, but still we don't really need the weirs across there. So let's go and have a look at another weir. This is actually up from Kelly's Falls on Kelly's Creek, And this is a weir which is, well, pretty out of date as well, because there's no need for it. We have town water supply on, and there's nothing coming from this to go to any place as far as I know. Pretty ancient and decrepit, full of silt from further up Kelly's Creek. And here it is, there's the flow, folks. And whatever leaks through this, it should be entirely removed and allowed to be free. But we can only hope that the authorities may eventually do something about it. Let's keep our rivers clean. The mighty Hacking, lifeblood of the Australian Heritage Listed Area, the Royal National Park and Garawarra State Conservation Area, Kelly's Falls section. But before we leave the Hacking River disaster, let's go down a bit further to the bridge they built across the Hacking River waterfall. But they left the actual crossing there, which blocks the water as well. As you can see from this aerial shot, there's water one side, and over the other side it's just, well, a bit of a flow and not clear. How is this supposed to keep the Hacking River clear to feed the Royal National Park? But worse still, down here where the Hacking River meets up with Mullet Creek and continues on into Port Hacking, we have here at Audley. Audley is the main entry into the Royal National Park from the north, comes via Sutherland and Loftus, and as you can see there is a bridge across, but it's not just a bridge, it's also a crossing, so there's no flowing underneath as well as it should be. Hence this area silts up, gets a lot of weed, a lot of rubbish, and as you can see it gets the green algae too. And in this aerial shot to the left there we see Mullet Creek. That's where people go boating. It's a very pristine creek. An interesting observation is the width of the Hacking River. On the top side there, or the northern side of the crossing, you can see it's quite substantially wide. But on the south side, where the lagoon is and it's blocked, it's only about a third the size. I mean, that is not good for a decent river. But while they continue to keep these weirs and crossings of the Hacking River, while they still allow light industrial in the headwaters of all places, the tributaries of the Hacking River at Helensburgh, that's Wollongong City Council's responsibility and the New South Wales Government, while they allow all that, there will never be a pristine Hacking River, lifeblood of the Royal National Park, the world's second national park ever declared back in the 1800s after Yellowstone.